Hey kids, Petaluma Pete here. Round up your adults and bring them to this screen because we're about to make a delivery. You know, while doing research on a video I produced lately as a tribute to our first responders from October's fires, I came across a lot of Facebook posts that struck me, and I want to read them to you now. The first one reads like this. If anyone has lost a piano and would like this one, I'd love to see this go to someone who loves to play. This second example reads, do you know of anyone collecting musical instruments to replace items burned in the fires? If so, please share with me. This third related Facebook post reads, got an old instrument lying around you could donate? The music teacher from Hidden Valley is desperately seeking instruments to replace the ones lost in the fire. Then it dawned on me. You want to know more? Come with me. Unlike most other musical instruments, kids, real acoustic pianos, played in churches, schools, and other nonprofit organizations, are big, they're heavy, and they're hard to move even after they are burned in fires and end up looking like the examples shown here, leaving our beloved institutions to flounder around or looking on Craigslist for pianos that provide them with no idea of what they are getting. And while these pianos may look good on the outside, oftentimes the inside mechanisms are shot and already destined for the junkyard. So they end up paying dearly to have something moved to their location and then pay again to have it hauled away to the landfill. To help these institutions get their music-making programs back on track sooner than later, Petaluma Pete and his good piano expert and technician friend Mike McQuilkin have devised a way for churches, schools, and nonprofits to not only get replacement pianos free, but free pianos that come with free internal mechanism adjustments, free tuning. Mr. McQuilkin is also the creator of the Family Music Hour, in the spirit of celebrating families who play music together. Now in its 5th year, his family-oriented shows have appeared on KWMR Radio and on Marin TV, Channel 26, bringing local families together to perform for their relatives, friends, and community. Mike is already collecting pianos here in his warehouse workshop and going over each and every instrument to make sure they perform at the peak of their manufacturer specifications. The instruments collected here are only the tip of the iceberg in terms of the number of free pianos that he is certifying before making available. Let's drop in and get a feel for some of these donated pianos that are receiving a new lease on life for the benefit of those who lost theirs in the fire.
And I took it in for somebody, one neighbor of mine actually, whose daughter had gone away to school and they weren't using the piano anymore. And they wanted to find a new home for this piano. This is a nice piano. Gorgeous piano. I did some work on it, a little voicing, warmed it up, and it comes with the original matching bench, and it is a lovely instrument that's available. Well, this is a little Kimball, what they call it, an artist console. You'll see this is one of the specialty pianos that the Kimball Company of Jasper, Indiana, built, probably in the, I'm going to say the 60s, this piano. This is a console-sized piano in a dark walnut case. It's a really nice warm tone. That's the original matching bench. Also, it has a Queen Anne leg. I love this little piano. It's very warm. It's hard to make a small piano sound that way because typically they're very tinny. Now, this, by contrast, is my tiniest piano. The Sherman Clay, also built in Korea. It's a Korean piano that the Sherman Clay Company of San Francisco had as their house brand or stencil brand piano. They put the name Sherman Clay on it, but it was built, of course, by an Asian piano company. So this has a lot of punch.
What the heck is this?
Well, as I told you earlier, John, this is the first piano that I ever took on as a project when I moved out into business for myself back in 1996. Now this is what we call a birdcage piano, or a European upright piano, that was built before the turn of the century. And you know, the reason they call it a birdcage is if you look inside, you'll see that there's actually a bunch of paraphernalia in front of the hammers, and it looks like a birdcage with the wires coming down. Now, typically these pianos are not good instruments, and the reason this one is nice is that I put a new set of strings on it. Probably the only time it's ever been done on a birdcage piano. And John, you can play this piano just like you can play your accordion. Sounds like Petaluma Pete to me. "85 notes, by the way. It's a shorter scale than the typical modern piano."
What's the story with this little beauty?
Well, you know, I think the customer said I sold it to her back in the 90s. I don't remember, John, but she assures me that I did. And part of my pledge to my customers is that if they ever need to have the piano, let it go, I'll take it back for them on consignment, because any piano that is good enough to come here one time is good enough to come back to me again. And so here she is, a beautiful 1960s Chickering baby grand in a honey mahogany cabinet. This piano was built by the Aeolian Piano Company in East Rochester, New York. Part of a batch of pianos that was reassigned by Aeolian Piano Company, including Chickering and Sommer and Charles Stieff. A number of pianos were built. Kanabi was another one that was absorbed by the Aeolian Piano Company and reissued under that name.